right, cyber traders, welcome on back here this Tuesday, August 22nd. Great to see all of our students and members joining us here, or perhaps still with us right now. Great to see John just before. Had Kathleen, Sam, Leda, Margaret, Roberto, a few more of us just a moment ago, Larry included. So great to see all of our students and members back inside our live trading room. Great to have us back on social, Facebook Live, LinkedIn, Twitter, YouTube, the works. And with that, hey, HKD ran its course. Nice move from this morning. I mean, really, just from the get-go. As soon as Fausto finished up the morning meeting, this ended up popping like, honestly, the minute after it finished up. So, right away, we started to focus on this stock. Although it wasn't on the main watch list, it popped like as soon as he finished up there. So it pulled back. It took a little bit, but then it ended up starting that real run that we were looking for it to make. And when I say real run, you could hope for that to be on any stock trending up when the market opens. But history often repeats itself here, right? So here, just again, the stock, we always have to show and tell. Back last year, roughly around this time at our Trader Summit, we ended up following the stock. It was a phenomenal move back then. It went from like $6 up to like 2,500. Phenomenal pop back then. And then even now at this point, going into the market close, well, hey, what goes up came back down. What went up went back down. Well, same to be said here. Broke out off of 725 resistance, the HKD earlier. As soon as we finished up Traders Talk, actually made that breakout. I jumped in from there. It was a really nice entry, and thankfully it made that proverbial big move that we look for shortly after. Led to a move well over 8 where I got out, and then from there ended up topping off around 850, but hey, ended up failing to hold over support, and from there broke a lower low. And well, we know it's going to happen once this begins to make a lower low. So this only continued to dump off much lower from there. And now at this point, I think that we're pretty much done with this HKD. Hey, maybe if it's showing good strength going up again, check in with it tomorrow. But notice how I phrased that. So it's not going to be my first thought. I think this will continue to dump off over time. We'll see though. As we go from top to bottom, really from here, I mean, the Folk Trade FULC number 2% gainer here. We'll go over that briefly. We went over that for the most part in our workshop, though. VFS, and this thing exploded from 20 up to 47, I guess. I didn't notice it until right now, honestly, here. So it's up over 120%. The reason I didn't notice it is because, hey, we were on the cheaper, the better HKD. And I say better because, well, look at the order book right now. Even here, it's just on a huge spread, thin volume out there. You were gambling if you were trying to, trade the stock. And hey, if anyone traded it, I hope that you made some money on it, but we weren't calling it out though, honestly here. So now at this point, it's pretty flat for right now. Definitely will pass on it here. If the order book was more filled in, I'd give it a go, but let's see if there's something better. All right, so the Folk Trade, I mean, I guess you could actually say, zooming in here a little bit, it's trying to trend back up, isn't it? Off of 560, now at 580. So I'm going to write this down for our side list. I'll come back to it if I really need to. Great book, great volume on the order book right there. And made a nice pop in pre-market, made a better move after the open, just failed to make that much higher high from that point and look to fill the gap that we have from the daily chart. So I'll come back to it if I need to here, the Folk Trade. And keep it going. We keep it moving. CNSP, a nice pop from after Traders Talk. Just it was on low volume to begin, so easy to say. But thankfully, the order book became more liquid. More people started to follow this stock. It's not really during the best time of the day. So, if you had missed out on this stock, rightfully so, because, hey, normally we teach our students, follow us in the mornings, follow us in the later part of the afternoon, not the early afternoon. So if you stepped away, you came back and this ran without you. It happens to all of us every day, myself, like on 20 different stocks. There's a bunch of stuff that I'm not looking at during the less opportune time. So, hey, maybe this can make a better play for us later on. I wish it was closer to the high of the day here at this point. So for that reason, I'll pass. But let's see what else we got. HKD, same deal. We just went over that one, though, at least. So. All right, so otherwise here, NVAX made a nice little move from the morning session as well. Trying to go back up, actually, and this one we're pretty familiar with just in general. Just COVID vaccine stock from back then, when traded on the way up, traded on the way down, trading it left and right here. And for right now, trying to make a move back up towards the highs. You got an iceberg, a pair of them, not just one, you got two, right here at 950 and also at 953. So 29,000 roughly at 950, and then a clean 20K at 953. That definitely is your bigger resistance for right now. So Yeah, we'll slip this on here. NVAX looks decent here for right now this afternoon. TWOU, a little slow for my liking here. So, if it pops later on during this meeting, then let me know. I'll come back to it if I need to. Probably say that on a lot of different trades, at least here at this point. Like this VLD, a nice chart, but volume definitely is flat. Had the NSSC stock back from yesterday, ended up dropping off like 50+%, I think, at one point. Made a nice little recovery in the afternoon, and hey, had a nice pop up a little bit higher here this morning, trying to fill a gap of its own here on the daily chart. It's at the highs, which I like right now. It's still holding there. I wish the order book was more liquid, but it's on a decent enough spread here where it hasn't jumped around too much. I'll slip this on here as well. NSSC. Hopefully the spread doesn't open up too much once it breaks out higher. All right, what else we got here? PFIE. Dead. All right, just kind of skimming through here. Otherwise, folks, just got a bunch of stocks that are either like low volume, too cheap, or too expensive, perhaps even. Trying to sift through. Fausto with the HUYA trade from earlier today. He'd called it out, referenced that, hey, we followed the stock once or twice before on occasion. I guess right now it's trying to eke back up a little bit, isn't it? It's just a couple of pennies off from its high. I'll come back to it again at the end. Not fully committed yet, but side list material here. And that might just about be it from the gainer side here, though. We'll check in with anything else, though, at the end, just for all of our students like Leda or John or Margaret, Rick, Larry, Jason. Just let me know if there's anything I'm missing at first. I'll hop over to the loser side to see if there's anything looking good from there. SOS, what goes up comes back down. So easy to say that, but it is shortable. I'm not really too jumpy to follow it, though, just looking at how illiquid the order book is. I mean, honestly, DraftKings, or not DraftKings, Dick's Sporting Goods here, DKS, Dick's Sporting Goods, for $112. It's actually as liquid, looking at the order book, as this $6 stock is. So if you're trying to, find a tradable stock, it's got to carry great liquidity at least. Macy's is that. It does carry great liquidity on the order book. It was a great short from the morning session here, coming off bad earnings. Only continued to dump off lower going into the early afternoon, and even up until just now, a moment ago, just bottomed out roughly over 1250, squeaking up a little bit. But yeah, for right now, I'll slip Macy's on the watch list, the main one. See if this continues and trend down. It's funny. I was forgetting what ticker Nordstrom was. I thought it was JKS or some reason. My dyslexia getting in my way. JWN. So they're dropping off with Macy's, and you could say the same with Kohl's, right? Kohl's, KSS. Actually, this is just a really clean drop off right now. Much better than Macy's even. Hey, I'll slip Macy's on there because it's down the most. It was the one from the morning session. I'm going to slip KSS on our watch list because it's much, closer to the low of the day there. The other one, Nordstrom, no real need to put that on our list. Got Macy's, got Kohl's here. So those are the two that we'll focus out of like the department store stocks coming off bad earnings. IQ, GPS, not a whole lot to write home about. This is down more than 5% and short of, Gap, actually. This is Gap. So in line with Macy's and Kohl's and Nordstrom. GPS, Gap, I guess, taking a bit of a hit there too, right? I guess I could add that with Kohl's since it's basically right at the lows there, right? I mean, a little bit slower than KSS, but hey, if you're looking for more of like a slower level one or category one type of short, this would be it. Brian says Kohl's has earnings tomorrow morning. There you go. So, the earnings report was Macy's today, Macy's specific, but they're all going to kind of move in sympathy, right? So it is more interesting to note at least that Kohl's has their earnings tomorrow and probably keep these stocks pretty volatile throughout this week. So that's good to know. Sam saying AAOI has made a certain degree of recuperation. It has. Very, very, very low volume per minute, though. Only about like 1,300 shares a minute. So that is just going to be a tough one to see try and really pop up higher unless if all of a sudden there's a huge boost in volume getting filled suddenly. CNSP, got the Folk, HKD, all of those we covered already. Appreciate the recommendations. If there's anything else that looks good or might seem worth watching, folks, type it in. Hey, I'll give you my thoughts. I'll let you know. There could always be one that slips past me, and if it looks good for you, just type it in the chat board. Let me know. I'll go through the side list stocks I said I'd get back to. So that being the Folk trade, FULC. It's going. I'll slip it on our main list now at this point. Looks decent here. TWOU. Yeah, doesn't look terrible. I wish it made a pop sooner than later or started to trade a little bit more volume per minute. So I'll pass there a little bit. And for right now, I'll pass on HUYA, but both of the last two, the TWOU and HUYA, both are like 100% tradable. It's just that I feel like they're a little slow. I think they're a little stagnant. So once we see those stocks pop, if they do, then we'll call them out. But I like what we got so far. The Folk trade, the NVAX trade, those two on the way up notably. Then the shorts, hey, the Macy's, the Kohl's, the GPS on the way down. It could be a great afternoon to work with, folks. And plus, who knows, there could be one or two more otherwise that pops going into 3:30. So you know what I'm going to say. Start and stick with this watch list. It's going to give you the best opportunity to at least catch a runner from this point forward. And then we'll check in with the other side list stocks as Rich jumps on the mic around 3 o'clock or afterwards. All right. For all of us on social media, Facebook Live, LinkedIn, Twitter, YouTube, etc. Last call. Let me know if there's anything else that you'd want me to check out or look at here. Just post to my email here, just right on the stream, josh@ctutrading.com. Any questions, thoughts, comments, suggestions, feel free to let me know. But otherwise, though, feel free to join our live trading room as well. I'm just going to post that QR code on the top left of that stream right there. So make sure that you scan that QR code. If you haven't joined our live trading room yet, join members like Carol, Craig, Ira, Leda, Richard, Thomas, Brian, Sam, etc. And then here, I think that we're pretty much all done here, folks. Just last call on Benzinga. Not much looking good. Not much really popping otherwise. So I'll take it. Hey, best of luck trading going into the market close, folks. I'll be in the chat board up until 3:30. And then otherwise, just for all of us collectively here, we'll catch back with everyone. If not later on this afternoon, then just come tomorrow morning. Talk to you soon. Take care.